It's 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and welcome to another What Does This Button Do show from the Geeks on Tour. It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets. We do invite you to become a member, geeksontour.com. I'm Jim, and together here with my wife Chris, we're Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your Android or your iPad tablets? And how do you learn about these amazing devices we have all over our table here?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is a little bit of time and a regular basis. So that's how we came up with this weekly show. Our website is geeksontour.com, and you'll find all sorts of tutorial videos there on everything we teach.
So, we're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, once again. We did take a couple of days and went down to the Keys this week, but
oh, it was beautiful.
This is home. We are actually in a townhouse doing this show this week, though. It's pretty cool. So we think we have a great show for you this week, and we'll start with a quick tip about Google's new photo apps. Google Photos app. And our beginner's lesson this week is on Google Hangouts. We'll show you how you can use it for all the communication needs, text, voice, and video calls on any mobile device. And our special guest today is Martin Brossman. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. The show is recorded on YouTube and on our Geeks on Tour channel. So, Chris, quick tips.
Quick tips. I gotta show you about Google Photos. It sounds like something that's been around a long time, but it's not. This is brand new. This is big. It used to be Picasa Web Albums, then it was Google Plus Photos, and now it is just Google Photos. And we will be bringing Martin in here in a minute, but let me first just show you what is Google Photos, and then we will go from there. So it is a photo storage and sharing service. So it's online, it's on the web, it's through your Google account. You need to have a Google account to use it. It's just the latest incarnation of what was Picasa Web Albums, Google Plus Photos, and now Google Photos. But it is also a standalone app on both Android and iOS. So that's what I want to show you. And I'm just going to show you the coolest thing. We don't have enough time to really go into it, but what I think is the coolest thing about it. So here is my Android phone, and there is the Photos app. It's the same logo as Google Plus Photos had. It's that pinwheel. So I just go there. It is unlinked from Google Plus anymore. So you don't have to go to Google Plus and then go to Photos. You just go to Google Photos. And as I said, there's lots to learn, but the coolest thing is how when you tap on search, and instantly it's in categories by people, places, things, and types. Now understand that I have 50,000 photos up here that I've uploaded over the years, and I didn't mean to tap there. So here under people, this is our grandson AJ. If I tap on his little face,
Chris,
I will see pictures that we took of him yesterday, as well as I can go back in time, and out of my 50,000 pictures, it has grabbed just those of AJ. So this is like 3 years ago. And I can go all the way back to there he is as a baby. And that was completely automatic.
That's amazing.
It really is. And places. I could go to Casa Grande and see that we were there this last year and 6 years ago and 8 years ago, and all those pictures are there. But really way cool and brand new is this things. I tap on more, And for example, boats. And this just done this automatically. I do not tag every picture of boats. This has nothing to do with tagging. This is Google's automatic algorithm. So boats. There's the pretty boat that I took lots of pictures of when we were down in the Keys just this week. Here we are kayaking. It recognizes that a kayak is a boat. Here's a boat up on dry land out in Arizona, etc., etc., etc. You will have so much fun just browsing through all your pictures with the new Google Photos app. So now let me bring in Martin. Martin Brossman is our guest today, and he is a teacher at UNC, University of North Carolina, you teach a certificate program in social media, right, Martin?
Well, I'll tell you, I and Karen Titi offer a class on social media management certificate program under NC State Technology Training Solution. It's a non-profit leg of the school, which designed to offer training for businesses. So you don't have to be a registered student, you just have to pay and show up, and that's the focus. And I also have been teaching statewide since 2006 across North Carolina, and then I call myself a success in business coach.
And we hope to meet you in person sometime this summer as we're traveling through your area, either on our way up or back. But now we met online because of the Picasa community on Google+. But I know that you are more from the business angle, whereas we're from the personal and traveler's angle. So how did you get into Picasa from the business side?
Well, I got into Picasa from the business side because I developed a course on social media, photography for social media for business owners, because all the social media platforms were making bigger and bigger pictures, but people weren't getting better at taking pictures in their business. So now you had a crappy little picture that you didn't pay attention to, much larger, making you not look as good. So I wanted a tool that was free that let them edit. And Picasa was a great tool. Not only that, my associate Karen Titi that I work with found that Picasa was the best one for making collages. Well, if you have little dinky low-resolution pictures and you need to build a big backboard for your business, a collage is a great solution for that problem, so you don't just have a pixelated photo that looks bad.
Well, I just thought that was fascinating to realize that there was a business angle on Picasa, because as you know, we love Picasa and have been teaching it for years. So have you taken a look at the new Google Photos, and what do you think?
Absolutely, I have. And to me, it is Google has realized how important photos are and what's the next offering for people, and this idea of letting them have an app that backs up their pictures in a protected place, that organizes them, and use the new, what I call artificial intelligence software they have, the AI, and will help sort them for them, is a fantastic offering for Google to roll out. Now, I'm going to say, like you, the one drawback that Picasa has and this doesn't, and Google, hope you're listening, and that drawback is you can't put text on the photo. So if you want to go, a little comment with your baby that looks cute, or niece or something like that, you can't do it. And then, of course, in business sense, you could make a picture just like the picture here and have put a watermark on it if you wanted to. So that's, to me, the one missing. But the biggest thing of all is this ability in Google that it can now identify the difference between a horse and a house, and it can organize your life for you. My gosh.
It is amazing. Now, I think there's a lot of things missing, actually, but the way Google normally works is they they're like how I make spaghetti. You throw it against the wall and you see what sticks.
And for God's sakes, don't overmarket it either. If it's a good product.
So they have to just jump in there. As soon as they have it going, they have to jump in there. But then they keep adding things. So I certainly have hopes. And I did write about it. People out there, if you go to PicasaGeeks.com, I posted an article just today with all my initial take. And we'll be talking more about that. Maybe we'll have to invite you back, Martin, to talk more about Picasa and Google Photos one of these days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we'll get on to it, but all I have to say is go to the App Store, look up Photos, make sure it says Google Inc. So in case someone's trying to compete with it, you don't get some fake it, safety first, right? Google Inc. And then download it and let it install and sign in, and it's going to just start doing its thing.
Yeah, Google Photos. I will add, we have a lot of people in our audience that are using metered data. So when you install Google Photos, pay attention to that option where it says, do you want to back up all your photos right now? Because the default is on.
Right, and if you do that with a metered connection, a cellular connection, you're going to be using a lot of data, and you will very likely go over your quota.
Now, it has the option to say, in fact, the default is that it will only do it on Wi-Fi, but a lot of people in RVs, their Wi-Fi is provided by a cellular connection. So,
good point, right.
So just something to pay attention to and be aware of, but it is great, and lots more to come. I think our Picasa Geeks website actually is going to become a Picasa and Google Photos website because
as it should.
I think Google finally settled on something they like, so they're going to keep going on this. I never felt like they had their heart into Google Plus Photos.
Right.
So okay.
So you ready for your beginner's lesson, Chris?
I am. Are you ready there, Martin? I'm gonna enlist you to help in our
absolutely. I'm a big fan of it. So.
Okay. Well, the first thing is to understand I am not talking about Hangouts on air.
That's what we're using to put this show together and to get it broadcast out to the web, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people ask us questions about this, and we love to talk about Hangouts on air, but it's heavy duty. Hangouts, just the consumer version of Hangouts as a communication tool, is very light duty.
Right.
It's simple, it's easy, and it really works. So, the things to know. Number one, it's free. It's by Google. Number two, it works on both Android and Apple. Sorry, Windows Phone
It
people.
does not work on Windows Phone as of this show.
But Windows has Skype. So Skype is pretty much the same thing, owned by Microsoft. So Skype is Microsoft, Google Hangouts is Google. All right, so Android and Apple, but seamlessly on Android and Apple. Then, number three, it does all three types of communications, text, voice, and video, and all with the same tool. So once you get used to it, really easy. And four, it is internet-based, IP. You do not need a voice service. It can use cellular data or Wi-Fi. So our key aspect here is that you can use a non-phone to make phone calls.
Right, and we have a non-phone here. It is a phone, but it has no cellular service, and we'll show you that.
Okay, so we're going to try to demonstrate this, but please bear with us because we are doing radio calls within a radio call here, so there might be some unexpected challenges.
Oh, don't make any...
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Now,
it'll all work perfectly as it does every
sure.
time.
Okay, yes.
We
use
the stage to keep Murphy away, just to let you know. So.
What?
We use the sage to keep Murphy away. Murphy's
Right.
Okay.
All right.
So the way I usually do our beginners lessons is I do the whole feature using the iPad or iPhone, and then I do it over again using the Android. But since a whole point of Google Hangouts is that it works seamlessly between Apple and Android, I am going to be using my iPad. So this is an Apple iOS device, and it's a tablet, not a phone. And I am going to be communicating with Martin in North Carolina, who, what's the phone? You're going to be using your phone, right, Martin?
I'll be using my phone. So you're going to be calling in, for this demonstration on a different account. But in the real world, you'd just be using 2 accounts.
Okay, and that is an Android phone.
Android Note 3.
Okay, so here we have my iPad. And you would just download, so you would need to start by going to your apps store, and you're looking for Google Hangouts.
And usually it's called just Hangout, I believe, by Google Inc.
Okay.
Right, just Hangout.
So under search, I can just search for Hangouts. Now, I do already have it installed, so I'm not going to take the time to do that, but I just wanted you to see what it looks like. It's those green quote marks is the logo for Google Hangouts, and it is in the Apple App Store, no problem. So, and I have it in a group called Communications, and there it is, Hangouts. And the first thing it can do is a text message. So I'm first just going to very simply send Martin a text message. Once you have people in your contact list, then it becomes very, very easy to use Hangouts. And that's the way I'm going to do it. But just for you to know, if you tap on the little pencil up here, if somebody is not in your contact list, you can put their phone number or their email and send a text message to them that way. But since I have already established Martin as a contact, that's the easiest way. So I can just tap on Martin on the left-hand side here, and down at the bottom, I'll say, "What's up?" And then you tap the little send. And then Martin will let us know if he gets that.
So then I'm going to show on my, well, you can't see it well, but I've got a little what's
Yeah,
up
I see it.
showed up, okay?
So what's up? Just came right on there. And realized text messages are usually sent by a phone, right?
Right.
This is
To
not
another
a phone. This
Right.
is a tablet, and there he responds. Now you can. This little paperclip means that you can attach pictures or videos, so it's a multimedia message. Or one thing I really like is attaching a map. Oh, or little emoticons. So I'm going to press the paperclip and use the location marker. And I say okay to whatever. And actually, I don't want to send him where I am right now. I want to talk about a restaurant. Let's say that he was in town and we're going to meet at Coconuts. So I can send him the map to Coconuts. Makes it very easy to meet up with people.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's also nice you can send the location if you're on the roadside or something to somebody to say, I'm here.
Come help me.
Come help me, I'm broken down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's another good, and I'm getting to see your location as well. So
okay.
I'm going to, that's to me a real valuable piece we can do, is see coconut, and then I just picked something that said was nearby. Probably a home-based business there. That doesn't look like it, but you get the idea of you've got a way to send. This is where I am. I think this is such an important point with this.
Yeah, I really like it. Okay, next I want to show how we can do video calls. Now, once again, what kind of device am I on? I'm on an iPad. It's an Apple tablet. Anybody I know that gets an Apple, either phone or tablet, are told that to make a video call they have to use Hangouts.
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
FaceTime is Apple only, though. You have to have an Apple device, a Mac, an iPhone, or a iPad.
Right. So if I was communicating with somebody with an iPhone or an iPad, I might use FaceTime. But Martin has an Android phone, so I cannot use FaceTime. It won't work. Hangouts will. So I just tapped where it said Martin's name, and I tapped the icon for video. And it calls him. This video call will be streamed live. Uh-oh, see, now here's where we're having the issue because we're because we are.
It just went on.
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead and stop it, and I will. I'll see if I can call you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Interesting. Now, because we're live, it's getting a little bit confused here.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. We're all a little confused here.
Back in.
Recovery. Okay, so I am recovered. We did try this before, and
I think it was before we were live. Yeah, it was before we were live, and so because we're already on a live, we're using the same users. It's normally you wouldn't have this issue.
Yeah. So what I would just say is now we can actually, what we'd initiate is a little video would pop up and go deedle deedle deedle, and then you swipe to accept it, and you've got a, well, I'm old enough to call it a Dick Tracy watch in your hand, and you're talking. So I'll be on a walk in the park, and somebody, a friend in Japan might call on this, and then I'll be able to chat with them and say, look at the park here. So you can turn the camera around and everything.
Yeah.
So great family way to connect to each other.
Absolutely.
And what a wonderful way to call a service department, like for our RVing friends. When you have an issue with your water pump or something and you call the service, if they have a smartphone with Google Hangouts, you can have a video call and you can show them right when you're on the call the part that you're having problems with.
Okay, I have to add something in. This is the business hat on me. Those guys need to hire you guys to set that up. If you had a company selling RV parts,
We'll get big bucks on that. Yeah.
That's right. If they had Skype and they had this, they would be able to reach out and see what's going on from their customers on the road, and that to me would be a huge selling feature, a win-win for both of them.
That's the point.
Okay, another business model.
That's right.
And you, Martin, you say that you use Hangouts for weekly meetings.
Yep. In the business, we have you can go in and on the PC, if you're also signed into Google Plus, you can schedule an event as a Hangout. So this could be a family meeting with people all over the world, and you can have up to 10 people all in that Hangout. So we have a meeting with about 4 or 5 people that keep up with social media on Friday morning, privately invited, and we go and then we share an Evernote, which I'm sure you've talked about as well as a tool. and we put in there, we all add notes to talk about in the Evernote for the meeting and go down their list. So 1 hour of Friday morning, we all find things throughout the week, throw them in Evernote, have a meeting, and go over it. Well, how could this map onto family? This could be a family thing that you want to do, and have a family meeting maybe once a month with people all over the place. So that's one of the ones, at least.
Yes, and we have a friend, Catherine at Hilton Head, that said her family is all over the world. She has one in Japan, one in Hawaii, one in California, and she's in South Carolina. And they get together on Google Hangouts video chats. It's a private family, up to 10 people in the video call. And how much does that cost?
Free. Just the or airtime, of course, if they're on a wireless system.
Right. There could be internet. Okay, so the last one is phone call. So instead of calling Martin this time, let's say that I need to call my insurance company. I need to call my insurance company, and I don't have a personal relationship with anybody there. I don't know somebody with a smartphone or a tablet or Google Hangouts, and I don't have a phone. I just have this tablet, this iPad in my hand.
But it does have a connection, right? It has an internet connection.
A Wi-Fi connection. Google Hangouts can call any phone, and I'll do that by tapping the pencil, and then the phone number of my insurance company, and I also picked this because they're not open today, and all I'll get is a voicemail, is 800. So 800 and 876 and 4582. And okay, I did something wrong. I needed to be on the dialer, but on the Apple, the dialer and Hangouts are integrated. I'll show you on the Android in a second, but there's still a different little icon. So if you wondered what I just did, I double tapped on the home button to bring up all the open apps and swiped it off so I could start over. And somebody is trying to call me. I always forget in an audience to tell people, turn off your phones. Okay. So here, maybe let me tap on phone first. There we go. That's the little icon I was looking for. That is the dialer. And with that, you can dial any real phone. So let me try that again. 800-876-4582. And call. This is a landline telephone that I'm calling from my iPad through an internet.
Thank you for calling. Our offices are currently closed. Our normal business hours are Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
So I just hung up. Think about this. How many of you have wanted to give your kids or grandkids, little kids, a phone, but you say, I am not going to go buy a phone and pay $100 a month for service.
Right.
Well,
now they might be on a shared plan, but yeah.
Do you have an old phone? Well, what's an old phone? It's just a mobile device without a voice connection. It can still connect to Wi-Fi, install dialer on it, and it's a phone whenever they have a Wi-Fi connection. Or if you want to give them something nicer than your old phone that's really slow, you can go get a nice little Wi-Fi only tablet. This little Samsung cost like $130.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a nice little tablet. Connect it to Wi-Fi install Google Hangouts and the companion app called Dialer, and you can make phone calls with it.
That is just too cool.
So, have you used it for that, Martin? Do you know anybody who has?
It's such a good point. Using it for it, I use it. Sometimes people call me on Hangout. Sometimes they call me on the phone. But one of the stories I'm remembering is while my father was alive, we were going to Thanksgiving dinner, and we were at the house, and he really was at the level he needed a wheelchair and a wheelchair van to move him. And he says at the last minute, I really want to go with you to Thanksgiving. And it was just breaking my heart because I'd have to get basically an ambulance to move him because he didn't move easily out of the chair into a regular seat. He had to stay in the chair. And so I came up with the idea at the last minute of I could train the caregiver on a computer we had there to set up Google Hangouts and walk him through it. And I walked him through it, and we did a little test, and I said, I'm going to call you on the phone and walk you through this. And then they were able to get my father on a Hangout, and he could say hi to everybody. And I have to tell you, I recorded all that, and it's on one of my Facebook pages, and it's the last video of my father. And he said, hi, everybody, and, they were talking back and forth. So, this is something pretty valuable that can offer something that there was no way to include him in the Thanksgiving dinner otherwise. So that's an example of using it where it really at a very personal level for me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Powerful stuff.
It is. It's a great thing. And we use a similar thing. We usually use Skype to talk with Chris's mom here in Florida while we were traveling around. And it is a cool way to do things.
Yes,
you can have a hangout, too.
Skype does the same thing.
Basically.
What's the other? Isn't there a third? Well, Apple, FaceTime, but FaceTime is...
Apple only. We've got Skype, which works on almost everything except Android platforms right now. I mean, not Android, I'm sorry, Chromebooks. That's the only thing it doesn't work on. And then we've got Google Hangouts as well. I do want to say Skype often will be the better choice because it's been around longer for certain things, one-on-one communicating, just because they've already learned how to do it. They don't have to,
Yeah, it's a pretty simple setup for that.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
I think I had... Okay. So do you use any tablets, Martin? Or you?
Yes. I use tablets. I have a phone here that my wife claims she can do curls with. I have like a 10,000 milliamp power pack on it that for me will run for a good day, and the average human being that doesn't live on social media and teach it probably a week. So the tablets, Chromebooks. A Chromebook will be a backup for my Mac on the road in case something happens and it's not working. I have an affordable Chromebook with me. So pretty much, and then of course, hopefully we'll one day get to talk about the digital assistants and things like Amazon Echo, but that's really another world in itself.
Yeah, I do hope we get to schedule that. We're having lots of fun with the Amazon Echo.
Okay, I want to get to some questions from viewers here. Richard asks, can you go to Picasa and print a photo that is saved to the Google Photos?
No. Picasa is on your computer. Now you can, and it works with the photos on your computer. Google Photos is in the cloud, online, on the web.
But if you have a photo and it's not on your local computer, you can download it.
You can go get it and download it.
You can go get it and download it. Okay. And let's see. What do you like about Picasso so much? We could do.
You have a week?
Yeah, do you have a week? So Richard wants to know.
I want to add something about Picasso. Picasso gives pretty much more rich features than they still have on Google Plus or Google Photos.
Lots, yeah.
It doesn't have that AI of sorting, but the ability to add text, auto watermarks for businesses. I mean, if we, I'm sure lots of Google people are listening now. We got to get on the ball and at least give the features that are on the Picasa.
Right. And Richard also wants to know if you need a separate app, a Google Photo app, in order to use it.
You don't have to. There is a website. It's photos.google.com. But if you want to use it on a mobile device, the app's the way to go. The Google Photos app for either Android or Apple.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I see right here, right now.
Okay.
All right. Quick thing there. Okay, we do invite you to like us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/Geeks On Tour. And I'm going to give Martin here a minute to talk about some of the websites that he has.
Yeah, I'll just real briefly. You can find me, but my best ad is Google the name Martin Brossman. About 20,000 index pages of content there, but
I saw where you just put a new one up today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So for business professionals, pronetworkingonline.com. For the small businesses that might, some of your viewers might be running small businesses. So that's smallbusinesstraining.com. Lots of free resources there to find out. Follow me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and I'm on Snapchat, but I'm still a little behind the curve. There's no one in my age group using Snapchat yet, so I got to find somebody to talk to there.
And you have a podcast, right? How can people
listen
to your podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast. It's a it's for B2B sales professionals with Greg Heyer, and that is called Linking into Sales. It's a very good podcast to check out, especially if somebody knows someone in sales and business-to-business area. And I just did one on how to be funnier with my old stand-up comedy instructor, where you can hear where I was booed off stage until I started to listen to him.
Oh, that takes guts.
That really does.
Comedy.
Okay, well, that's pretty much about it. Did you learn something? We have some review questions here. Google Photos is a free app for Android and Apple, and Google Photos is a free app for Android and Apple, and a website at
photos.google.com.
Okay. Hangouts is an app that will do 3 types of communication. What's one?
Text.
2?
You want to take it, Martin?
Yeah. It will do phone.
Voice, yes.
And it'll do video calls. True or false, an old smartphone without a cell provider or a tablet can use Wi-Fi and Google Hangouts dialer to call any phone.
Absolutely, amazingly true.
True.
And that's anywhere in the world.
Great.
Now, most phones in the U.S. and Canada will be free, but even international calls are very low cost. And to find out more, just Google for Google Hangouts dialer.
Okay, true or false? Google Hangouts can only do video calls between Android devices.
Martin?
False. It can actually work with Chromebooks and Apple, but it's still a little behind the curve on the Windows phones, but it will work on a Windows system using Chrome.
Cool.
Right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Martin.
And Chris, what's the webpage that lists all our weekly shows?
It's our website, geeksontour.com, and the menu item is Weekly Show.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters. One will be going out tonight.
Hopefully. geeksontour.com, and the menu item is blogs and articles. Newsletters is under that.
And the benefits of joining Geeks on Tour?
Well, there are 3 benefits to becoming a member. Number 1 is access to all the recorded tutorial videos that are on our website. Number 2 is to ask questions on our member Q&A forum, where we promise one of us will answer. And number 3 is the show notes for these shows. So, for example, today we'll write up everything that we talked about and give links to everything we talked about in the show notes.
Well, that's cool. Now, we do invite you to become a member at geeksontour.com. Just go to our website and click the Become a Member. Next time, well, we won't have a show next week. We're taking the grandkids to Orlando. It should be fun.
We're going to go visit Harry Potter next weekend.
Okay, but our next live show will be on June 14th. We'll have a quick tip and an app of the week. Ask your questions there in the comments, either on our event page or on the YouTube page when it goes up there, and we'd love to see and answer your comments live. Okay. Any last words?
I'm going to just say the price of your services is far less than one service call or paying somebody in my area to sit down with them and teach them. So huge value.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for being with us here this week, Martin. It was good to see you again, and we'll be in touch because we have to put together a show about the Amazon Echo.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's really cool. We both have one. So, Chris, what does this button do?
I don't know, but just keep pressing them. Keep pushing those buttons. That's the only way to find out. It won't blow up, I promise.